welcome back to another episode of the Soup Bowl. I am your host, Renee Murdoch, and I am so happy that you are here today, that you are liking, that you are sharing, that you're subscribing, and most importantly, yes, say it, that we are doing life together. Because we were never meant to do life alone. So I am super excited about it. I'm super excited about it. And as you know, that when you get in the Soup Bowl, life does get messy. It's going to get messy. But the good thing about a mess is it can be cleaned up. We have a spill over here on aisle number 8. If we can just get a clean up over here, that would be great. So we're always spilling things. If you're trying to live this life of perfection and that you're not going to mess up, I have news for you. And this is going to really hit the core of things of how you've been moving in life. You are not going to get it right every single time. There is no such thing as perfect. It's just not. It does not exist with us as human beings. It just doesn't. So come on, live freely, mess up with the rest of us, dive in, fall in, however you want to do it, but just get in there, okay? So what are we getting into today? Well, I want to talk about something that, I had to deal with in life and have to keep reminding myself, over and over and over again, that there's some truth about some things that we need to get ownership of. We need to just, walk around with a t-shirt with a sticky note. I don't know. We need to wear it. Like we know it. And that is your worth. My worth is immeasurable. It's immeasurable, right? No number can define it. I can't be bought. No person can limit it. And no circumstances can reduce it. That's the thing right there. No number can define it, no person can limit it, and no circumstances can reduce it. But here's the challenge that we all face. We often live as if our worth is negotiable. Come on now. It's not. Your worth is not negotiable. As if other people, their opinions, or even our mistakes can set the standard of how valuable we truly are. And we're going to talk about this today. We're going to talk about how to protect your worth. I don't even think we're going to scratch the surface, but we're going to start this conversation and we're going to have ourselves thinking about our worth and how it is immeasurable, how valuable it is, and how to recognize when you are being undervalued and how to step into the full value of who you truly are. Only you can do that, no one else. So I want you to think about this. Where are you getting this ideal of the definition of worth? Right? Is it from social media? Is it from how many followers we got? Is it from recognition? How many awards do I have? Is it about my position at my job? Is it, I'm the custodian, but there's a CEO. Does that define? Are you allowing that to define your worth? Right? And for some people, it might be about the relationships that they're in. It might, again, about the work that they particularly do, or even your position in your family. But here's the thing. Where you glean from unhealthy or unreliable sources, you start to shrink your value to fit into that environment opinions, those people opinions, that type of culture opinions. And so ask yourself, am I allowing the environment to define who I am? Or is there something greater? Okay, let's look up this word right here. I should have had this already prepared, but I didn't. And so let's think about worth. What is the meaning? Not worth, but worth. Come on, Google. I tell you, Google just doesn't like to operate with me. Also, so worth is equivalent in value to the sum or item specified, right? the value equivalent to that of someone or something under consideration, the level at which someone or something deserves to be valued or rated. That's what it means. We have to be intentional about what we're feeding our minds. If we're thinking about the environment in which are we conforming to the environment based upon what they say about me? Or do we glean from the truth from our faith, right? From sources that build us up? Think about your environment. Pause. Okay, did you get it? Okay, let's think about that, right? So now you're because it's true though. If you allow that environment to bring you right to a place that is draining you, that is putting a price upon you, right, that really is unhealthy and that's always bringing you down, and you feel like you have to keep performing and keep performing and keep performing, and it's based upon how many awards that you're getting, how much recognition that you're getting, how much money is in your bank account. All of these things really does not define you, but you allow it to define you. We allow these things to define us, right? That's why people are always trying to get the likes on social. They will do anything to get the likes. We some sad souls out here in these streets these days. I'm just saying. And let's think about it. Have you ever settled for less than what you knew you deserved? I'm going to raise my hand. I'm going to raise both of them because I'm talking about myself here. Yes, I have. I have settled for less, and I knew that I deserved more. Maybe it was your job. Maybe it was a friendship. Maybe it was a relationship. Or it just, you knew you deserved more. Maybe it was a negotiation of a salary, right? Negotiation of a car, or whatever, a home. But you settled, right? And sometimes, right, we tap into only a fraction of our potential because we accepted someone else's definition of what's possible for us. We've accepted someone else's definition of what's possible for us. So we've settled. We allow it, to be right there, what they said, and then we went no further. And we're not even tapping into all the potential that's inside of us. I think I might have shared this before on this podcast. I'm not for sure, but I'm just going to share it again if I haven't. But I remember being a teenager and being told numerous of times, this is the crazy part. It wasn't just one time, but it was numerous of times that I was told by adults that I would never amount to anything. And this is the crazy thing. It wasn't like I was skipping school. It wasn't like I was getting in trouble at school. But they would say to me, you're not going to amount to anything. There was two parents that were educators, and their son liked me and wanted to date me or whatnot. And I did not have the lifestyle that they wanted for their son. I didn't come from, the two-parent household and had a home and lived in a certain neighborhood and had all these things. No, they looked at me as a threat going to ruin their son's life. And so they told me I would never amount to anything, that I was going to be in the hood with babies, pregnant, barefooted, and that I was not going to become nothing other than that. How do you do that? As an adult, you're talking to a youth and you're telling them that they would never amount to anything. Now, I could have believed that and been like, man, okay, I guess I'm not. I think I'm not going to graduate. I'm just going to drop out of school. I'm just going to go out there and be promiscuous and this and that or whatever. I literally could have believed that. But I had enough sense that I got an attitude of, you don't even know me, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what my life can be. And so I left that environment with that very thing. Was I hurt? Yes, I was. Was I always, trying to figure out, like, I need to be better, I need to this and that. So I was always moving in performance based upon that. But at the same time, I knew that I was worth more than what they were telling me. I knew I was worth more. I knew it was. And I didn't want to live beneath what I knew was not true for my life. So ask yourself, where are you, right, underselling yourself? Where are you living? Where are you living on pennies when you can be living on the abundance? You living on scraps, right? You living out the trash can right now, and you should be at the king's table. Where are you? Why are you underselling yourself? Why are you allowing other people and circumstances to define your worth, your end? It's up to you. We live a life of choices, people. No one is making us do anything. No one. I don't care what you say. Oh, we don't have the opportunities and this and that. No one is making you do anything. Everything that you're doing is your choice. You are where you are because of a choice that you made. It does not matter where you came from, what your last name is, what the color of your skin is, what your ethnicity is, what your, first language is. It does not matter. Where are you living in a place of underselling yourself as an individual? Because here's the truth, the honest to God truth. We are all immeasurable. Our value is immeasurable. Every single last human being on this earth. No matter their beliefs, no matter their gender, no matter their age, we're all of value. And that's just the honest to God truth. We're all of value. Whether I have $1 million or whether I have $1, we're all valued the same. It is the choices that we make in life, people. At the end of the day, it is the choices that we make in life. And others can only treat you how you allow them to. That was the other part of that. If I allowed them to continue treating me that way, then that was on me to stay in that environment. But guess what I didn't? Like, I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't even want anything to do with your son. If I would have stayed in that environment and tried to prove myself in that environment, right? Another situation. But we can only, we allow people to do what they do to us if we say nothing. And that's just the reality of it. People will treat you according to the standards you set. People will treat you according to the standards you set. So if a guy, I'm gonna use this for an example. I remember I was going on a particular job. I was dropping the load or whatever, and there were some young men, and they decided to act a fool. And what I mean by that, they whistling, cat calling, this and that, whatever. I'm like, are they serious? Like, I'm at work, you're at work, and I'm dropping a load, and seriously? And I tell them, no thank you, right? That was my part. No thank you. You can cut it out. Then they kept doing it, and I was like, okay. So I said something to them again, and they continued on, and I was like, all right. So when I got back to the motor pool, I said something to my boss, whatnot. They called over there and made those young men come back and apologize. So it's sad to say that someone had to make you come and apologize. But the point that I'm making here is that you're not going to talk to me any old kind of way. I'm putting up boundaries, and you have crossed them. And I don't like what you're doing. I don't like what you're saying. If you don't define your value, others will devalue you. If you don't establish your boundaries, people will cross your boundaries. Others can only treat you how you allow them to treat you. Point blank. Point blank. So if someone is disrespecting you, then you let them know, you're disrespecting me and I don't like that. Don't talk to me like that. I don't want to hear that. Don't come up over here like that. Right? Like, don't call me after this time. No, you are not welcome at my home. I will meet you here. I'm just saying. Oh, and another thing. If you're supposed to be like meeting up with somebody, I'm just going to put your little young people on, or even adults, whatever. I don't know, because hopefully you already know this, but if you don't, okay, I'm just going to say. If I'm supposed to be meeting someone for a date, and this is like even a date, like someone's trying to talk to you or whatever, and y'all set a time, or even if it's just a friendship, right? And you set a time of where y'all supposed to meet up, right? And so you set the time, whatever, you show up to the spot and whatever, and you sitting there waiting, the person doesn't call and say anything, right? And they're not there. 10 minutes go by, 15 minutes go by. Why are you still sitting there? Why are you still sitting there? No, I am gone. You have not called and said anything. Now, even if the person called me like, hey, I'm running late, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, okay. At that point, I get to really define, like, do I still want to wait on this person to still come and us to hang out? Or do I have other plans that I need to tend to? And if I still decide to stay and hang out with this person, it might push everything else back. So that's a choice that you have to make. But from the get-go, if they do not call, oh, no, boo. No, that's it. You didn't show up. You didn't call. We're not talking. We have nothing else to talk about. But if I stay and don't say anything, then guess what? I'm letting the person know that that was okay. And then I do it again and again and again and again. Because now they think that it's okay not to communicate, to show up when they want to, although we've already made plans to show up at this time. Where is the respect at? So then when you say something about it, they're like, well, what are you talking about? Like, I've been doing this the whole entire time. So why are you upset? And that person, what they're saying has some valid points, because you weren't saying anything. You weren't saying that it bothers you. You wasn't saying that you didn't feel respected, but you allowed it to continue to keep going on. Right? All right. So let's just kind of think about that. You need to say to yourself, I set the standard on how I am treated. Come on now. I set the standard on how I'm treated. I am a value and I deserve respect. You deserve respect. So have other people treat you with respect. We're going to wrap this thing up. Okay? All right. Now, the next thing is what you give your attention to either builds you or drains you. We talked about that. I think it just keeps diving in, because this is just what you're giving your attention to. Is it either building you up or is it draining you? If it's not building you up, then why are you giving attention to it? Explain to me. I'm like, if you're asking someone, hey, I just need help with this and that, whatever, and they're like, okay, well, boom, go do this, do that, do that. And then you don't do any of those things, and then you come back again and you're asking for the same help. And they're like, okay, well, I know I just told you to go do, did you do any of those things? And you're like, no. Then why would I continue to give you attention to something when you haven't even tried any of the things that I recommended for you to do? You got the same situation, but you ain't tried none of the recommendations. I'm going to say the same thing. I'm not going to change my answer. And I feel like sometimes y'all be trying to make people change how they're moving. You can't change nobody but yourself. You can't change nobody but yourself. Right? Like, you just can't. So you're putting energy where you don't need to. And if your focus is on negativity, comparisons, and criticism, you're gonna be feeling devalued. If that is what you are, right, putting yourself in the midst of, and you feel like you gotta compete all the time. But if you focus more on the growth, right, of things, the gratitude of things, and faith, you'll start to live out a true life of worthiness, right? So I was reading Luke today, and I was thinking about, first we're going to talk about living a life of gratitude, right? And here it is that if you haven't lost anything significantly, right, and another person did, then who's going to have more gratitude, right? So Jesus gave like this parable, right, to one of the disciples, and he's just like, look, hey, if a person had 500, $1 million, I'm making up the amount of money, right? But if they have $500 million and the other person had $5, right, and their debt was forgiven, who's going to be more grateful? Is it going to be the person with the $5, or is it going to be the person with the $500 million? I'm pretty sure it's going to be the person with the $500 million and not the person with the $5. I'm just saying. But either way it goes, there's some gratitude there. But we should live this life of gratitude. If we're living a life of gratitude, right, it changes the perspective of how we see things. When we wake up each morning, we should be thankful that we're alive. We should be thankful for the family that we have. We should be thankful for, the protection that was covering us the night prior. Like, find 3 things to be grateful about. And it's very easy. It's not hard. It is not hard. It surely is not hard to find. Right now, I'm like, I'm looking, Lord, thank you for oxygen, clean air. God, thank you, Father, for a chair to sit in that is comfortable on my behind, that is holding me up. Thank you for a table that I can sit at and actually put my food down on or right upon. There are people that don't have tables. They just don't. It could be customary, or maybe they just can't afford one. But I'm grateful for it. I'm truly grateful for it. Write down some things that you are grateful for each and every morning. You got to make this life intentional. You got to move with intentionality. You can't be moving in mundane and lackadaisical, whatever. You got to be intentional about your moves if you're going to grow and you're going to transform your life into the very thing in which you're supposed to do. You're not going to go to bed one night and then you're just going to wake up and it's just like, no, it's not. You didn't get that way by going to sleep and waking up like, no, you didn't. It was what you were putting into you and what you surrounded yourself in and what your environment was for you to become who you are. So you want to begin to know and understand that your value is immeasurable, that it cannot have a price tag on it. Then you're going to have to do some things differently. You're going to have to do it differently. You got to focus on the right thing and stop focusing on the negativity. Who cares what they say? Who cares what they say? Who cares what they say? Because there's always going to be somebody that got something to say that's not good. And that's their own hang-ups. And it's not yours. That is theirs to carry and not yours to keep. I ain't got to hold on to that. I don't have to hold on to any of that. I'm only going to hold on to what I know to be true about me. If you don't get that for your own self, then I'm going to have to let you work that out for you. and I'm going to keep it moving for me. Yeah, no, I don't believe that. Nope, not having it. Nope, I don't deal with disrespect. Nope, you're not going to talk to me like that. Nope, don't call me after that. No. Your worth is not up for debate. I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth with you. We're not about to do that. I'm not debating you about who I am and how you need to address me and talk to me. How you need to have respect for me, because I have respect for you. I have honor for you. Honor me. But we're not going to continue this roundabout thing over and over and over again. No, we're not doing that. I'm going to remove myself from this environment. It's not set up about the likes, the titles, the money, or even certain relationships. It is said by the one who created you. The one who created you. That would be God of heaven and earth. He says that we're of value. He says that our worth is immeasurable. And he paid the price. Point blank. So remember, be mindful of where you're gleaning from. Because wherever you're gleaning from, right, is what's going to bring about that produce. Stop living beneath your value. Stop it. Your worth is more than what you're tapping into. This is the crazy thing, because I was reading this article and it was saying that we literally only tap into 10% of our potential. That's crazy. That is crazy. And we wonder why our world is the way it is. Why there is such a low percentage, right, of individuals who have true influence over the world system. Because we live beneath our value. And a lot of times we're living beneath our values because of the words that have been spoken over our lives, and we have believed the lie. We have trusted in the lie. And we have built our lives around a lie. That is the hard truth that we must deal with as individuals. How about we start to build our lives around the truth of the matter? That we are worthy. That we are worthy to be in certain places. That we have the right to walk into stores, right? We have the right to be in certain spaces and places and conversations. I deserve to have that position just like anybody else. I'm going to put my best foot forward in this. Not believing the lie. And I think in that time is one of the reasons why I probably did not pursue college right after high school. Because there was no money there, but I was believing part of that lie. Although in the other part of me was like, yeah, no, I'm going to prove to you that I am somebody. And I am going to be more than the environment in which I grew up in. I ain't no money. I don't know how I'm going to get some money. But I know there's more to life than this. So I set a standard for myself. And I think my standard was so high that literally was not such a good thing, right? Because it's like I was always trying to reach it. And then I'm putting that same pressure on other people as well. But I did have a high standard for how people treat me and how I was going to treat others. And then you got to protect your focus, right? Each and every day. What am I focused on? What am I doing today? What am I grateful for? What things am I going to do that reflects the worth of who I am? Because what I give attention to is going to shape my experiences of worth. So just remember, my worth is immeasurable. Right? Come on, put it on a sticky note, draw it out, do some artwork with it, but my worth is immeasurable. And I do not allow anyone else to define it. I don't care who they is. But you don't let anybody else define it but you. And I choose to walk in my true value today and every day. All right, we had our mark. We're a little bit over, but that's all right. That's okay. But do you know that when you get into this thing, into the soup bowl, right, it just gets a little tinge, a little spill happen. But that's okay. Again, we are living and we are growing, and that's what it's about. Leading our lives is teachable. Leading is teachable. If we are willing to position ourselves to learn. So I encourage you to keep positioning yourself to learn. I love you, and until next time,